Republican Governor Rick Snyder on the toll old man winter is taking in his state. Governor, more of the same coming, right?
Yeah, well, good afternoon, Neil. It's been a record winter for cold and snow in Michigan, and the good part is we know how to deal with the snow part. Unfortunately, I think we've done better than many states around the country that just weren't prepared, that don't have the equipment, but it has been very cold and snowy.
We were teasing you with this thing you were doing in the water. What were you doing in the water, and was there any metaphor going on there?
Absolutely. If you look at Michigan was underwater. We were at the bottom of the 50 states in the last decade. We had a lost decade as opposed to just the Great Recession, and now we're above water and we're coming up. We're the comeback state.
All right, so the purpose of coming out of the water was what again?
We were below water before, now we're above water and climbing fast. And
but you couldn't have said that at a press conference? You had to do the Diver Dan thing? Or that was...
No, but you want to actually have fun with this, too, in terms of saying the message. I mean, we've gone through some very difficult times, and it's exciting to see optimism in our state, people looking forward to the future. We've got young people moving back into Michigan, coming to our state. A lot of good things are going on, and we should be proud of that.
And you should be. I mean, well, you're brave enough to go in a wetsuit. If I tried that here, that would be a YouTube event. You know, Governor, it's funny because I was thinking of your turnaround and what other governors have been enjoying, not across the board, but in a number of states, and that is sort of the clarion call among a number of possible Republican presidential prospects, but that they have the benefit of turning states around, and that a governor has the kind of executive experience that a senator or representative does not. Do you buy that notion that whoever takes the Republican mantle, maybe even extends to the Democratic mantle, that kind of experience is crucial?
I think it is critically important, and I think people should be looking to the governors for a great pool of talent. You can see it in many states, as you said, Neil, and you really contrast with Washington. If you look at Washington, it's a mess. And there are three issues I typically bring up to people when the topic comes up. The issues are balancing a budget appropriately, paying down long-term debt, and tax reform. Those are three fundamentals that Washington hasn't done that I believe is holding back the economic recovery in our country. And if you go to the states, in Michigan, we did all three the first year, and we've been consistently following through since then, and it shows up in our economic results.
Governor, you mentioned Washington. I just quickly want to get your take on what the president wants to do, committing another $300 billion to infrastructure repair, that sort of thing. The devil's in the details, including how you pay for it. But what do you make of that, and whether that would benefit Michigan? One could use some money, but what do you think of it?
Well, I think to be open with you, one of the challenges is how do you sustain something like that, and how do you pay for it? Because, again, the federal government's already in deep debt. What I would suggest is that there are other areas that I don't think are getting enough attention. And one of those in particular is I think we have a skills gap in our country. And what do I mean by that is we have a lot of people still looking for work, very talented people, but they require additional skills and training to hold jobs today. Employers have lots of openings. I'll give you an illustration. In Michigan, I went to a tool and die company, Proper Tooling. And I talked to them that they said across Michigan, the tool and die companies could hire about 8,000 people. These are good-paying jobs, $50,000 to $80,000 jobs that are going open because, again, we don't have enough training programs. We have to talk to parents and kids and other people and get them excited about going into it as a field because it's a great way to have a great lifestyle and raise a family.
Meanwhile, you always got to face either the wind at your back or the wind in your face with this recovery, dicey as it is. We had a guy following the retail chain saying the consumer is certainly slowing down. It's not all weather related. So do you worry that this economy is heading into a rough patch and that hurts you in Michigan?
Well, what I'd say is it's not going to be a straight line. There are going to be ups and downs, but Michigan is doing better than much of the rest of the country. Again, if you looked at personal income last year, which is a great metric to use, we were tied for #1 in the Great Lakes states, and we're #7 in the country, and that's after being a decade around #50. So we're coming back strong. We're seeing good recovery in the automotive industry and tourism and agriculture. Most of our fields are doing well in this state. We're just going to keep it up.
Governor, a pleasure, sir. Thank you very, very much, and I commend you for the wetsuit thing. That's something I would never do.
Thank you.
But again, you're a very fit guy. Governor, thank you.